What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you with my deck profile that I got 14th place at the Knoxville, Tennessee regionals. I literally just got home. I'm really tired, so I'm trying to knock this out. Those 8 rounds, 195 players, top 24. Once again, like I said, I got 14th place on one X2 playing Thunder Dragons. I'm going to go to main side extras, give you guys my round by round, what would change, what would not change, how that performed, everything. I just want to go with the main side and extra first. So for the main, we have one Dragon Duo. We have 3 Thunder Dragon, 3 Dragon Dark, Dragon Hawk, Dragon Roar, Dragon Dark, I'm sorry, Dragon Matrix, 3 Batman Solar. So this is the main core of the deck over here. Then for like any kind of like extenders / hand trap dot cards, we have 3 Phantasmes, 3 Dimensional Shifters, 2 Ash Blossoms, and 3 Infinite Impermanents. For spells, I have 2 Allure of Darkness, 2 Thunder Dragon Fissure, 2 Pod Desires, 3 Instant Fusion, and Gold Star. It's a 40 card main deck. For my side, I have Denko Sekka, 2 Trap Trick, 3 Eradicate Epidemic Virus, 3 Paleozoic Dynamishcus, 3 System Down, and 3 Nibiru. And for my extra deck, I have 3 Thunder Dragon Colossus, 2 Titan, 1 Kaminari, 1000 Restrict, 2 Summon Summoner, Phoenix, Link Rebo, Lamba, Blacklisted Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, Borsal Dragon, as well as Borlo Dragon. Okay, so let's start off with the extra deck first, actually. Now, the extra deck I thought was really good. The only big change, I think, from my build, from a lot of builds, is I decided to run 2 Summon Summoners, where a lot of builds opt to not run this and make this into a Nightmare Unicorn. And the question for me personally came up to what matters most. Having two on board so like I have a decent mid game, or having a Nightmare Unicorn to help extend. And to be honest with you, it came down to what's more prevalent. And for me, it was definitely having 2 of these Summoners. I still think Borreload's really good in the mirror match. It's really, really good in the mirror match. Borreload, even though I never played it, can help you take out the end the game quickly. Good against Sky Strikers. I still want a Lamba because I want a generic Link 2 that I could go into. And yeah, I still think this was a great card and needed. 1 Link Rebo, Phoenix, and I think everything else was the same. Some builds are also playing 3 Titan. I decided to play 2. The only reason I want to play 2 is because you just don't need it. This deck is known to have great cycling. Why try to add a 3rd Titan and not do what the deck's meant to do? So that's why I did like this, and I felt like that was more than enough. Nowhere throughout the regionals I needed to go into a 3rd Titan whatsoever. Let's go into the side deck. Let's talk about the side deck real quickly. So of course Nibiru. I cited this card every time I played against any deck that I could use Nibiru against. Whether I was going first or second in game 2, if I steal your deck spam, I'm putting this card in. And I think that caught a lot of players off guard throughout the weekend. I think this is going to be the new correct play for Nibiru. Whether you're going first or second, you want to put this in because your opponent extends. If you don't have a good board, or you draw a bad hand, or if you do have a good board, you still have the option of Nibiru, so you can clean that field out. So this card is actually pretty huge for me. Up next, System Down. This is good against Orcus, and Orcus won the event, by the way. They went undefeated. I'll have that deck profile coming up on the channel if the video's not up already. Justin Singh went undefeated with Orcus, and System Down is a great card against that deck. It resets him to square 0, the card. Now, unfortunately, I did not play 0. I played 0 Orcus, so unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to put this card in. But this card is still amazing, and I'm not getting rid of it. I think this is still a huge card. Any card like this and this I could put in against Orcus is just phenomenal. I'm not sure if it depends on the Orcus build. This is for Nibiru, but for System Down, it's definitely a good card against Orcus. I think the pure builds you can't really play Nibiru, and once again, I'll have that video up. You can check the reason why. Paleozoic Dynamishcus was amazing today. It did an excellent job today. I'm really happy that I played this card. It's a great card. A lot of incentive for this deck profile came from a good friend of mine, Austin Lewis, as well as the guy that made top 4 at the Brooklyn Regionals. I basically took a bunch of their advice and combined it to make this deck because they were running, I'll talk about it more in the main, but they were running, like I said, it's really late, Dimension Shifter, and I decided to integrate hand traps in it, and it worked phenomenally. But yeah, Diamond Mission has definitely helped out a lot. And of course, 3 Eradicate Epidemic Virus. This card's amazing. 2 Trapchick. This card's really good as well. And Denko Seka, which was my last slot, which is decent. I'm actually not a big fan of this card. I know it's searchable, but when we're in a meta in which you have 3 Silent Judgments, this card isn't as good as it could be. Okay, so looking at the main deck, I think everything for the most part is the same in the main deck. I don't think there's not much people change. Some players are opting to play Pot as Eyes. Some players are opting not to play Pot as Eyes. I'm telling you right now, you have to play Pot. Only 2. Only 2 desires. You don't really need to play 3. We are playing a 40-card deck, but Pot as Eyes is definitely the correct card to play in this deck, and I highly recommend it if you are looking to play Thunder Dragons, that you have to play this card. It really does make a big difference. Then we have 2 Allures, and the reason why we have 2 is because this deck is all darks, and you can't brick with Allure. You cannot play games in which having 3 Allure is just not optimal. It's really good with like a Dragon Dark or Dragon Raw, but yeah, not good with like Dragon Hawk. And I think one time throughout this regionals, I actually lost my hand because I Allured as my only option. So just be careful with Allure. Don't go too crazy in it. I definitely recommend only 2. And 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions. I know the guy that played that regionals made top 4, Brick and regionals ran 3. I just don't find it to be that big of a deal. The card's searchable, so it's not really that needed. Looking over at hand traps, I think Permanence is definitely better over Ash. I ran 2 Ash and 3 Impermanence, and the reason why is because Ash can be hit by Call by the Grave, whereas Permanence cannot be. And if you go Nibiru and then you have an impermanence, you're probably gonna win that game. If you go Dimensional Shifter and you set your impermanence, or you have a permanence to stop them from extending, because most players when they get hit on the shifter, they're gonna try to extend to maintain some kind of some kind of aggressive board. Impermanence will do better against them than Ash, once again, because you don't want to get hit by Call by the Grave, and actually not Call by the Grave, but nevertheless you don't want to get hit by any kind of any way to stop your You don't want them to find any ways to stop this, whereas there's almost no ways to stop this. That's the best way to think of it that way. If I could fit an extra card in the main, it would definitely be a 3rd Ash. And then Phantasmas at 3. Unfortunately, if you're looking to play Thunder Dragons, you need 3 Phantasmas. This card's putting in a lot of work all day long. I didn't play no Strikers, but this card's insane against Strikers. It's good against almost every deck right now, and it allows you to search into the Dimension Shifter. You go Phantasma, you get the Dimension Shifter, and then you drop a Dimension Fish Shifter, and you're just in. Or you go Phantasma, and you get one of your other hand traps, being Impermanence and Ash Blossom, and it just adjusts your hand. It's an amazing card, and it definitely put in a lot of work for me throughout this weekend. And I think the main deck is pretty much the same. Let me double check real quickly. Yeah, it's just 4 of everything, right? Yeah, the main deck's pretty much the same. I don't think nobody goes crazy for it. I know with some Yu-Gi-Oh players, they like playing 1 or 2 Dragon Duels. The reason I opted to play 1 Dragon Duel because you're not focused on making Dragon Duel. You're just focused on getting a quick board, stun if you can, and end that game. If you go into mid game, Dragon Duel is really not bad during mid game, but opening game it is, and I don't want to have the best opportunity to have the best opening hand in the game, so that's why I decided to play only 1. The night before I was playing 1 BLS, I just didn't have any room. I wanted to make this deck 40, so I cut BLS, which hurt a lot because I really do like the card. That card's insane. So the only thing I would probably change in the whole entire deck, because I felt the deck was really well, would probably be Denko Seka. I felt like this card was very underwhelming. I just don't think it was that good of a card, to be honest with you. Once again, in a format we have so many ways to get over Denko, to go around Denko. This card is not good, so I would probably take out Denko. For the rest of the side, I think the side's very good against the meta. If I had a chance to put anything in, I would probably try to fit Red Reboots in, which I know it's only 1. I would love to fit a playset of Red Reboot because I think that card's really good. But overall, other than that, the deck, for the most part, did a great job. My only 2 losses, actually, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about my round by one. So, one thing, it was 195 players, 8-round regionals, Knoxville, Tennessee. Round 1, I played against Chainburn. I 2-0'd him. Yeah, Titan. Titan, and he activates Mystic Mime, and I'm like, cool. Chain, hand effect, and then, oh yeah, Chain Titan, get rid of that card. And that actually worked really well for me. Round 2, I played against the Mirror, and the Mirror is very weird. In the Mirror, it's a resource game. Also, I had Titan on board, so he activated one of his Thunder Dragon effects, and Titan says, hey, if you activate any Thunder Dragon effect, I don't care if it's you, I don't care who does it, but if it's activated, you get to pop a card. So what happened was, he had a card on board, activated Thunder Dragon effect in his hand, and I chained Titan, and that really messed him up pretty well. I think, I'm not sure if the game would have been different other way around, but it definitely would have made him, give him a lot better chance of success, if that was to happen. Round 3, I played against Border Stun with like Fossil Down and Pachycephalo, and we went into game 2 into time. We had a time extension, and I really felt like I had an opportunity to win that game. I didn't really play as optimizing as I could. It is my first weekend playing this event, playing Thunder Dragons, so I really I think I learned this like in like a week. So I don't think I played as good as I could have played, but I felt like it was a great match. It's probably my favorite match throughout the whole day. Absolutely, very nice guy too. Round 4, I played against Crusadia, Guard Dragon, Thunders. Game 1, he goes full combo. Full combo, four negate that board. I'm just not breaking it. My hand wasn't optimal enough. Game 2, I dropped Nibiru, and he kind of caught him off guard because I went first, and I had Nibiru, and he's like, whoa, what the, and it really put in work. And then in game 3, I dropped Dimensional Shifter. He starts doing his combo, and I dropped Nibiru on him. So I got Dimensional Shifter, and he goes, all right, cool. So I doing his combo because he's trying to promote play. And then when he went to LP, I dropped Nibiru on him, and that really just sealed the deal for the game. I mean, the card's insane. Round 5 went to Salad, and game 1 was a quick win. I blindly dropped the Dimensional Shifter the minute. I think I went first. I dropped the Dimensional Shifter, and the reason I dropped this when I went first is because I didn't want this to get called by the grip on his turn. So I dropped this. He said sure. I made it a decent board, and I think the guy that won the Toronto Regional said it best. You don't have to overextend. You just have to put up a decent board, and that's 100% right. I think I ended with like a Colossus, and I think a Summoner. I think, or maybe I turned into something. But that was my board. I could have did a full combo, but I just did that. Didn't need to do a crazy board, and he was on the shifter and he's playing Salad. I didn't know he was playing Salad, by the way. So I win that one. Game 2, we go back and forth a little bit, but he takes that eventually. He gets with Salad, the minute you start getting that engine running, it's hard to stop, and I didn't have many cards in my hand. And then in game 3, my deck just did what it did, and it was a very nice guy, good player, but unfortunately for him, the deck my deck did really good. And then in round 6, I played Invoke Mech Knights. I don't remember that game. I won in round 6 against them. I don't remember that game that much. I'm sorry if you're watching the video, but yeah, I'm really sorry, man. I won. In round 7, I played against Altergeist, and that's my deck. That's my baby. And game 1, I won. Quick win. So I sided in game 1. I sided in Trap Trick and Eradicated Epidemic Virus. I sided in the full package of Trap Trick and Eradicated Epidemic Virus. Even though I was probably gonna go second, I still wanted this in. So he draws his turn. He draws his cards, and he goes to me. He goes, "You can go first." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it'd be great if I get a Thunder Dragon Colossus. I can eradicate him, and I basically win the game." I didn't get nothing playable at all. So unfortunately, he won that game. I had Eradicator, and I had Trap Trick, and I had him set. And I didn't have no way to go into Colossus, also I would have won the game. And then game 3 we play, and basically I go, you know what, I'm going to go first. If I go first and I get Eradicator and Colossus, once again, I win the game. You can't win. It's impossible. So I open, I instantly see, as I'm drawing my hand, one of the Trap Tricks, so I'm like, oh my god, I got it. I'm in. We're good to go. And I look at my hand, everything was unplayable, unfortunately. I had 0 monsters, so that was my first, like, full-on brick game. I could have won against Altergeist, and yeah, the deck just said, you know what, you're just not winning this one. This is what you get for cheating on your baby Altergeist. Anyway, round 8, I played against World Chalice Mech Knights. Game 1, the deck just... So, with World Chalice Mech Knights, any kind of these going second builds, if I find you're going second build and you're not that good against me as far as, like, taking me out quickly, I'll draw and pass turn. And game 1, I bricked really badly, so I literally like drew and passed. And he's like, "All right, draw, set, pass." And then I go draw, and I just start, and that was it. The deck was ready. The deck was online, and I went off on him and took him out. In game 2, he went full combo, and once again at this point I didn't know whether to put in Nibiru 100% because I didn't see his deck fully. So I don't think I put Nibiru in. I just made my average side. I didn't do anything too crazy, and he went winning. It went full combo and actually totally devastated me. And then in game 3, I went first. My hand was bad, so I go draw pass, and he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he goes draw, and then he makes a decent board, but not crazy enough. Like once again, you can't. He gets me down to 36, and I go, cool, draw, and I just slowly just make it an amazing board. I think with Thunder Dragons, like that, certain turns you're gonna want to give more attention to than other turns, and that was one of those kind of situations. Which I was just sitting there, and I looked at him and said, "I'm sorry, man. This is a big play because I can't kill you. I'm probably going to lose to you next turn." And what happened was, I went right into him, and unluckily enough, I wound up taking that game against him, and it was really weird because I had a Lure of Darkness in my hand, and I didn't have no dark targets, so I blind Lure of Darkness. I had 2 impermanents set, and I blind Lure of Darkness, and I got into a Dragon Dark, and I had a Titan on board already, and he had the Mekk-Knight Link, which means if I can attack it, but it doesn't take any damage. So what had happened was I wound up using Titan to get rid of that card, and the minute I got rid of that card, it was game. The game was over at that point. And unfortunately for him, that was the winner of that game was gonna get their invite. And unfortunately for him, I was the winner, and I felt really bad. But it is what it is, man. Unfortunately, and yeah, no, I got 14th place once again. This is Thunder Dragon. Dimension Shifter definitely is the right way to go. Up until like a day or two before, I actually called my shout out to my friend Austin Lewis. I called him and was talking, and I go, "What build you're running?" And he said he's definitely running Shifter. And I go, "You know what? I like Shifter, but I'm gonna run hand traps. I'm gonna run, besides Phantasmus, which helps get Shifter and stuff, I'm still gonna run like Infinite Permanence and Ash Blossom. These cards can still be used under Shifter, which makes them a lot more viable than maybe some of the other hand traps. And I did that, and it worked out phenomenal. The deck played great, and I learned a second a week. In 1 week, I learned how to play Thunder Dragons. The main reason I want to play it because I have a rarity condition of the mind, and I love prismatic, so that my deck's almost fully prismatic. I've had Ulti Titan for Colossus forever, and I just can't do nothing with it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just play the deck. And yeah, the deck's great. I enjoy the deck heavily. And moving forward, I might play this or Prank Kids, depending on the meta. But yeah, I had a great time playing the event. I felt like if my deck didn't brick, I would have won X1. If I played Optimal, I think I could have even been undefeated. Just because Dimension Shifter against Orcus is game. You go Dimension Shifter against Orcus, they have to push against you. And if you have something like an Infinite Permanence or an Ash, the game's over. It's that big of a deal. But yeah, no, I think the deck was absolutely amazing, and I definitely recommend anyone who's looking to play a deck that's meta but not known to the meta. This is definitely the great deck because once again, everyone's looking at Orcus and Strikers, but Thunder Dragon has such a great matchup, especially this build against that. I really recommend you guys check that out. And anyway, Paisano, your boy V. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to buy anything on TCGplayer, comment down below. Look in the description down below. There's a link to check that out. And you Paisanos have a great day.